dolphins dance through the Aegean dawn, celebrating life in green's crystal waters. The Mediterranean monk seal, Europe's most endangered marine mammal, finds refuge in hidden caves beneath Santorini's volcanic cliffs, a sanctuary where limestone caverns provide perfect nurseries for their vulnerable pups. On rugged peaks that rise abruptly from turquoise waters, golden eagles survey landscapes where over 6,000 plant species have evolved in splendid isolation, creating one of Europe's most biodiverse nations. For over 8,500 years, human hands have shaped these ecosystems, creating a living mosaic where wild nature and human tradition have developed a delicate, enduring harmony. Under the light of a full moon, female loggerhead turtles return to their natal beaches, continuing a nesting ritual unchanged since the age of dinosaurs. Greek islanders who once harvested these beaches now protect them, guardians of an ancient migration that predates their earliest myths. Maritime knowledge passed down through 20 generations connects modern Greeks to Minoan sailors who read these same waters and winds 4 millennia ago. What can a land where goats graze among ancient temples teach us about finding balance between human needs and wild nature in our increasingly crowded world? In Greece, the boundaries between natural and human worlds blur, offering rare insights into sustainable coexistence that most modern societies have forgotten. Join us as we uncover the remarkable adaptations of creatures that thrive where Mediterranean meets mountain, where Europe's most ancient human civilization meets its wildest nature. You'll witness wildlife spectacles few travelers ever see, from elusive Mediterranean chameleons changing color among vibrant spring wildflowers to majestic bearded vultures soaring above mountain monasteries. Will reveal how Greece's unique geological history has created ecological treasures that remain hidden in plain sight, awaiting those who know where and how to look. Join us as we journey beyond the ordinary into a world where natural wonder awaits at every turn. Welcome back to another Cultureverse exclusive. The Aegean Sea cradles one of the Mediterranean's most vibrant marine ecosystems, a living laboratory shaped by volcanic forces and maintained by unique ocean currents rich in nutrients. Nowhere is this more evident than Santorini, where an ancient volcanic explosion created one of the world's most spectacular natural harbors. These vibrant magenta flowers aren't just decorative, they represent a remarkable adaptation to the harsh Mediterranean climate. Bougainvillea's paper-like bracts conserve precious water while creating a striking display that attracts specialized pollinators. Beneath the surface of this breathtaking caldera, extensive Posidonia oceanitica seagrass meadows form the foundation of marine life, often called the lungs of the Mediterranean. These underwater prairies produce oxygen, stabilize seafloor sediments, and provide crucial nursery habitat for countless species. One patch of this ancient seagrass, a flowering plant that returned to the sea from land millions of years ago can produce more oxygen than an equivalent area of rainforest, while capturing carbon 30 times more efficiently than its terrestrial counterparts. The long-knouted seahorse finds perfect camouflage among these gently swaying blades, its prehensile tail anchoring it against Aegean currents. These remarkable fish, where males rather than mothers give birth, have declined by over 30% in the last decade as seagrass habitats face increasing pressure. Above the surface, sleek European shags plunge like feathered arrows to hunt among the seagrass beds. These coastal specialists can dive to depths of 45 meters and swim underwater with powerful webbed feet, creating a vital connection between marine and terrestrial ecosystem. Bogue fish move in synchronized schools above the seagrass, their silver bodies catching the dappled sunlight. These common Mediterranean fish play a crucial role in the ecosystem, converting plankton into protein that feeds larger predators. Common bottlenose dolphins have developed a hunting strategy unique to the Aegean. Instead of chasing fish from behind, family pods coordinate to drive them toward isolated rocky bays where escape becomes impossible. The dolphin's brain-to-body ratio is second only to humans, enabling the complex communication and coordination we're witnessing. Each pod develops distinct dialects and hunting techniques, passed from mother to calf through years of apprenticeship. This mother will nurse her calf for up to 4 years, an extraordinary parental investment that allows for the transmission of cultural knowledge, including the location of reliable feeding grounds, and the complex social rules that govern dolphin society. If you're enjoying this exploration of Greece's extraordinary marine ecosystems, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel for more journeys into the natural wonders of our world. Along Greece's countless islands, sea caves carved by millennia of wave action provide critical habitat for the Mediterranean's most endangered marine mammal. With fewer than 700 individuals remaining in the wild, the Mediterranean monk seal clings to existence in these isolated caves. Once abundant throughout the Mediterranean, centuries of hunting and habitat destruction reduced their population to the brink of extinction. New hope for these living relics of the ancient Mediterranean emerges in remote birthing caves. Each white-coated pup represents a conservation success story, as Greek marine protected areas now safeguard critical habitat. Where land meets sea, specialized plants have evolved remarkable adaptations to thrive in this harsh interface. Sea lavender and rock samphire extract moisture from salt spray that would kill ordinary plants, their succulent leaves storing precious water. The Axios Delta near Thessaloniki exemplifies a critical transition zone where rivers meet the sea. These productive wetlands serve as vital refueling stations for millions of migratory birds traveling between Africa and Europe each year. Up to 8,000 greater flamingos gather here each winter, their specialized bills filtering tiny crustaceans from the brackish water. These crustaceans contain carotenoid pigments that give the flamingos their characteristic pink coloration. The more they consume, the more vibrant their plumage becomes. The intricate filter feeding mechanism works like a living sieve. As the flamingo pumps water through its partially inverted bill, fine hair-like structures trap microscopic prey while expelling excess water. Like diners at nature's buffet, each bird species has evolved to specialize in a particular feeding zone. Long-legged stilts probe deeper waters, nimble sandpipers work the shoreline, and mallards filter the surface. This specialization allows multiple species to feast together without stealing each other's meals. As morning mist burns away from the coastal wetlands, we ascend to sun-baked hillsides, where life faces an entirely different challenge. Here we discover one of the Mediterranean's most distinctive and diverse ecosystems, a fragrant scrubland where plants and animals have mastered the art of surviving month after month without a single drop of rain. The Mediterranean Maquis, known locally as Frigana, covers much of Greece's lowland areas, a dense tapestry of aromatic shrubs, twisted olive trees, and seasonal wildflowers that have adapted to thrive with minimal water and intense summer heat. Plants here display remarkable drought-resistant strategies. Thick, waxy leaf coatings reduce water loss, while silvery leaf undersides reflect scorching sunlight. Many shrubs produce aromatic oils that create the distinctive scent of the Mediterranean landscape. These aromatic compounds serve another purpose beyond deterring herbivores. They are irresistible advertisements to specialized pollinators. Greek thyme honey, prized since ancient times for its distinctive flavor and medicinal properties, represents a remarkable evolutionary partnership. Plants transform barren soil into liquid gold through pollinator relationships perfected over millennia. Traditional Greek beekeepers move their hives seasonally to follow the nectar flow from sea level to mountain meadows. This practice, unchanged for centuries, mirrors the natural movement patterns of wild pollinators and helps maintain genetic diversity in plant communities across different elevations. The Greek tortoise navigates this seemingly harsh environment with remarkable efficiency. Its domed shell provides effective protection against predators, while reducing surface area exposed to the sun, a crucial adaptation in a landscape where summer temperatures regularly exceed 40 dCe. This first major peak in our narrative, the extraordinary adaptations of Mediterranean wildlife to extreme conditions, reveals how evolutionary pressures have shaped specialized organisms perfectly suited to this demanding environment. Among the most specialized hunters in this ecosystem, the Mediterranean chameleon possesses adaptations that border on the magical. Its independently mobile eyes can focus on different objects simultaneously, while specialized skin cells containing crystals and pigments enable its famous color-changing ability. The chameleon's ballistic tongue can accelerate from 0 to 97 kilometers per hour in a mere 1/100th of a second, reaching its prey in under 30 milliseconds, faster than the human eye can process. Now, I'd like to share a challenge that even professional wildlife photographers struggle with. As we observe these masters of disguise, I invite you to join our wildlife spotting challenge. Can you spot the Mediterranean chameleon hiding in plain sight? Look closely at branch textures and subtle color variations. For this second challenge, search for the distinctive eye shape and subtle outline. Our final challenge is what wildlife biologists call master-level camouflage. How many did you spot before the reveals? Share your results in the comments below. If you spotted all three without help, you might have the observational skills of a Mediterranean eagle. As we ascend from the sun-baked scrubland into Greece's mountain forests, the ecosystem transforms dramatically. Greece contains some of Europe's most pristine forests, ranging from deciduous oak woodlands to alpine conifer stands, each supporting distinct wildlife communities. Oak forests dominate the middle elevations, creating ecosystems of extraordinary productivity. A single mature oak can support over 500 different species and produces up to 50,000 acorns in a good year, providing critical food resources for countless animals. Wild boar families, led by experienced matriarchs, methodically forage through the forest floor, their sensitive snouts detecting acorns and truffles beneath the leaf litter. These ecosystem engineers turn soil and distribute seeds, maintaining forest health through their daily activities. The European wildcat, increasingly rare across most of its range, maintains healthy populations in Greece's more remote forests. Often confused with feral domestic cats, these true wildcats have never been domesticated and display distinctive behaviors, including their solitary, primarily nocturnal hunting strategy. With hind limbs longer than its forelimbs, an adaptation for powerful pouncing, the wildcat can leap up to 2 meters to capture prey. Unlike domestic cats that often play with prey, wildcats deliver a precisely targeted killing bite to the neck, reflecting their evolution as efficient predators in European forests. The Pindus mountain range forms Greece's spine, creating a patchwork of forest types as elevation increases. Black pine and Grecian fir forests dominate these higher reaches, creating habitat for specialized wildlife adapted to cooler temperatures and seasonal snowfall. The diminutive European roe deer navigates these forests with remarkable agility. Unlike their larger relatives, roe deer are browsers rather than grazers, selectively feeding on the most nutritious parts of plants and trees, including tender buds and young leaves. The black woodpecker, Europe's largest woodpecker species, plays a critical role in forest ecology. Its powerful chisel-like bill can excavate nesting cavities in living trees, creating homes not just for itself, but eventually for dozens of other forest species that cannot create their own cavities. The woodpecker's remarkable specialized tongue can extend more than 10 centimeters beyond its bill tip. When not in use, this extraordinary adaptation wraps around the bird's skull, between the skin and bone, acting like a shock absorber to prevent brain damage from the powerful drumming impact. At the forest edge, where trees give way to alpine meadows, golden eagles establish vast territories. With a wingspan exceeding 2 meters, these apex predators can detect prey movements from over a kilometer away, thanks to retinal cell densities 5 times greater than in the human eye. This represents our second major peak, the intricate ecological connections between different forest zones and the wildlife that moves between them, from soil microorganisms to apex predators. Above the tree line in Greece's numerous mountain ranges, a harsh but beautiful alpine ecosystem extends toward rocky summits. These high-elevation environments, isolated like islands in the sky, harbor specialized plants and animals found nowhere else on Earth. For a brief period after the snow melts, these alpine meadows explode with colorful wild flowers in a dramatic race to complete their reproductive cycle during the short growing season. Many Greek mountain plants are endemics, species that evolved here and exist nowhere else on the planet. Crocus species has evolved to bloom literally at the edge of melting snow, using the heat-absorbing properties of its dark purple petals to create a microclimate several degrees warmer than the surrounding air. Balkan chamois, the agile mountain goats, antelopes of Greek highlands, have evolved remarkable adaptations for life in these harsh environments. Their specialized hooves feature soft, grippy centers, surrounded by hard outer edges, natural crampons that provide secure footing on precipitous slopes and icy surfaces. This athletic ability allows chamois to escape their primary predator, the wolf, by retreating to terrain too dangerous for larger animals to navigate safely. A fleeing chamois can clear crevasses up to 6 meters wide and run uphill at speeds approaching 50 kilometers per hour. Perhaps nowhere in Greece is the interaction between geology and biology more dramatically displayed than at Meteora, where massive pillars of rock rise from the plain of Thessaly, creating a veritable sky island for specialized wildlife. Griffon vultures establish breeding colonies on the inaccessible ledges of these natural skyscrapers, using the thermal currents that rise along the rock faces to gain altitude effortlessly. These magnificent birds, with wingspans exceeding 2.8 meters, can soar for hours without a single wing beat, scanning vast areas for carrion. The monasteries of Meteora, built by humans seeking isolation from worldly concerns, inadvertently created perfect conditions for these birds' conservation. The strict protection of the area around the religious sites has maintained suitable habitat free from disturbance, demonstrating how human cultural heritage and biodiversity conservation can mutually reinforce each other. The bearded vulture, rarest of Europe's vultures, exhibits perhaps the most unusual feeding specialization in the bird world. Unlike other vultures that consume soft tissues, this species has evolved to feed primarily on bone marrow, carrying large bones high into the air and dropping them onto rock surfaces to crack them open. This remarkable behavior, the only known tool used among vultures, allows these birds to exploit a food resource untouched by other scavengers. The highly acidic stomach of the bearded vulture can digest bone fragments whole, extracting calcium and other minerals that sustain these magnificent birds in their harsh mountain habitat. High in these mountain environments, springs emerge where groundwater reaches the surface, creating biodiversity hotspots of disproportionate ecological importance. These water sources support unique communities of specialized plants and animals, from rare amphibians to endemic flowering plants. The stunning Alpine newt, with its brilliant orange belly and blue-flecked flanks, depends on these high-quality mountain waters for breeding. Males perform elaborate underwater courtship dances, their colors intensifying during the breeding season to attract females. Greece is a land where geography creates natural laboratories of evolution. As we leave the mainland mountains behind, we journey toward scattered Aegean islands that rise like stepping stones from the blue depths. The same evolutionary forces that shaped mountain specialists like golden eagles have also created island hunters like Eleonora's falcon. Yet on islands, these pressures intensify, creating unique adaptations found nowhere else on Earth. When sea levels rose after the last ice age, they transformed mountain peaks into islands and mainland wildlife into isolated populations. This separation, sometimes only a few thousand years, has been enough to create distinct island varieties of many species. As our perspective shifts from vertical mountain zones to isolated island worlds, we enter a realm where evolution accelerates, creating living laboratories that help scientists understand the very foundations of life itself. Greece's 6,000 islands, of which only 227 are inhabited, represent natural laboratories of evolution. Each island functions as an isolated ecosystem where species have evolved in relative isolation, often developing unique adaptations found nowhere else. The theory of island biogeography, a cornerstone of modern ecology, was partly developed through studies of Aegean islands. Scientists discovered that each island's species diversity relates to both its size and its distance from the mainland. A pattern that helped explain fundamental principles of ecology and evolution. The Ehud's wall lizard demonstrates how isolation drives evolution in real time. Populations on different islands have developed distinct color patterns, body sizes, and behaviors despite their recent common ancestry, providing a living window into the evolutionary process. When threatened, these lizards can voluntarily detach their tail, a process called autotomy, allowing them to escape while the still wriggling tail distracts the predator. The tail will regenerate, though the replacement lacks the bone structure of the original. Perhaps the most remarkable island specialization belongs to Eleonora's falcon, a raptor that has evolved a breeding schedule precisely timed to coincide with bird migration. These falcons synchronize their breeding to produce hungry chicks exactly when millions of exhausted songbirds make landfall on Greek islands during autumn migration. By delaying their breeding until late summer, months after other falcons have finished, Eleonora's falcons ensure an abundant food supply for their young. This remarkable example of evolutionary timing illustrates the complex interconnections between different animal life cycles. This represents our third major peak, the extraordinary evolutionary adaptations that arise in isolated ecosystems, demonstrating how geographical separation drives the emergence of specialized behaviors and adaptations. Greece's strategic position between Africa, Europe, and Asia makes it a critical crossroads for migratory birds. Millions of birds depend on these islands as stepping stones during their perilous journeys, resting and refueling in habitats that are increasingly threatened by development. For many migrating birds, The fat reserves accumulated during brief stopovers on Greek islands mean the difference between successful migration and perishing at sea. Some birds double their body weight during these refueling stops before continuing their intercontinental journeys. Conservation efforts to protect these critical migration habitats require international cooperation as the birds connect ecosystems across 3 continents. By tracking individual birds with tiny transmitters, scientists have mapped the precise migration routes that have been used for millennia. Beneath many Greek islands lie hidden worlds. Cave systems formed through the dissolution of limestone by slightly acidic rainwater over millions of years. These caves harbor highly specialized creatures adapted to life in permanent darkness. In this realm of perpetual darkness, eyes become evolutionary liabilities, requiring energy to maintain with no benefit. Over generations, cave-dwelling species like this specialized shrimp have lost their eyes entirely while developing enhanced non-visual sensors, including elongated antennae with highly sensitive chemical receptors. These living fossils often represent ancient lineages that have survived in the stable cave environment, while their surface-dwelling relatives faced extinction due to climate changes or competition. Studying these specialized cave ecosystems provides unique insights into evolutionary processes. Greece's extraordinary biodiversity faces modern challenges. Habitat fragmentation, warming temperatures, non-native species, and development pressure. Yet, throughout the country, conservation efforts are creating hopeful models for people and wildlife thriving together. The National Marine Park of Zakynthos represents one of Europe's most successful marine conservation stories. Established to protect loggerhead turtle nesting beaches, the park now safeguards entire marine ecosystems through community-led management. When the marine park began in 1999, locals feared restrictions would harm tourism. Instead, turtle protection became a cornerstone of the island's appeal, proving that safeguarding natural treasures creates economic benefits through responsible wildlife tourism. These same principles now extend to Santorini, where a growing marine conservation movement is helping to protect the caldera's extraordinary underwater ecosystems. Local dive operators who once focused solely on tourism now collect valuable data on dolphin populations and seagrass health, becoming citizen scientists and environmental ambassadors. In northern Greece's Pindus mountains, brown bear populations have rebounded from near extinction. These magnificent animals, weighing up to 350 kilograms, need vast territories with diverse food sources, making them perfect indicators of ecosystem health. Wildlife bridges connecting previously separated habitats allow bears to find mates from different areas. increasing genetic diversity while reducing dangerous wildlife vehicle collisions. These smart infrastructure investments show a new approach to conservation that works for both wildlife and people. This moment, where ancient creatures navigate a modern solution, represents our most powerful emotional peak. For millennia, Greek mythology told of gods who bridged realms between heaven and earth. Today, we're writing a new mythology where human ingenuity creates literal bridges between our world and the wild, offering hope for harmony in an increasingly crowded planet. These bridges were controversial when first proposed, whispers wildlife biologist Elena Papadopoulos, as she reviews footage documenting over 15 species using the structures. Now, they represent something profound, the moment we stopped seeing conservation as restricting human progress and started seeing it as expanding our definition of progress itself. At Prespa Lakes, where Greece meets Albania and North Macedonia, a transboundary park demonstrates how conservation can transcend political boundaries. This wetland of international importance supports over 260 bird species, including the largest colony of Dalmatian pelicans in the world. Local communities around Prespa have revived traditional agricultural practices that maintain the landscape's biodiversity. Bean cultivation using heritage varieties benefits both farmers through premium prices and wildlife through reduced chemical inputs. Our journey through Greece's extraordinary ecosystems has taken us from volcanic islands to mountain peaks, from hidden caves to ancient forests. Throughout this remarkable land, one truth emerges: the boundaries between human and wild have always been permeable. The same volcanic forces that created Santorini's breathtaking caldera also shaped perfect habitat for marine life in its crystal clear waters. The same hillsides where bougainvillea cascades in vibrant displays found endemic plant species found nowhere else on Earth. As our journey through Greece's extraordinary ecosystems comes full circle, we witness a perfect metaphor. Wild dolphins choosing to accompany a wooden kayak fishing boat beneath Santorini's cliffs, neither fearing nor pursuing the other, but sharing the same seascape in mutual awareness. In this moment, the boundaries between natural and human worlds dissolve, revealing the profound truth that has sustained this landscape for millennia. We are not separate from nature, but an integral thread within its tapestry. From the smallest endemic wildflower to the majestic golden eagle, from ancient breeding caves to modern wildlife corridors, Greece teaches us that conservation isn't merely about protecting nature from people, it's about remembering our place within it. Thank you for joining us on this journey through Greece's remarkable ecosystems. Until our next adventure, Naiste ename te fusi. Naiste ename te fusi. Be one with nature.